The sky was like a pastel painting with reds, pinks, oranges. I'm smiling, grinning ear to ear, feeling completely relaxed. And that's because I was in my happy place, driving along the Pacific Coast Highway with the beaches, the water, the expansive horizon just off to my side. And I was feeling so grateful to live in a place like Los Angeles where I can just come along this coast and take a drive if I need to, or just want to break and relax from kind of the hustle and bustle of what LA is. And I find myself doing this quite often where I just take these long drives along PCH. And that's just one really cool feature about living on the coast in LA. But of course, you've got all the daytime activities that any great beach or Los Angeles beach is going to offer you. And that is the amazing surf, awesome volleyball courts, just relaxing on the beach, taking a bike ride, the great waves that we have here along the coast. So it has so much to offer. So if you are thinking about making the move to Los Angeles and you want to know what that beach life is like, this video is going to be for you. All right, we're going to go on a little journey along the coastline, starting the northernmost part of the Los Angeles coast all the way down to the South Bay. So we are going to start in Malibu as our first beach area. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to give you a sense of the different types of vibes and lifestyle that each one of these beach communities have. Although it is all along Los Angeles coast, each one of these neighborhoods, communities has its own feel, and you can see which one is the right fit for you or which one is the best for you. For me, I actually like all of them for all different reasons, and I frequent them. We are going on an adventure up and down the Los Angeles coastline, starting from the north in Malibu, heading all the way south into the South Bay area. The reason I'm doing this is because each community, each beach neighborhood has its own vibe, its own feel, and so I thought it'd be kind of cool to describe to you what to expect, the type of lifestyle, the different activities, amenities that you will find in each one of these communities. So first area we are going to start with is Malibu, the Boo. And this is kind of your quintessential beach community that you see in movies, you see in TV shows. They do a lot of filming here, and it offers you so many different varieties of types of beaches there. You've got flat sandy beaches. You've got beach areas where they've got fantastic waves for surfing. Malibu is known, one of the most famous spots for surfing. You've got these rock formations and these jagged areas of the beach where people fish off of. So there's a lot of different types of geography just in the Malibu beach itself. And then you have the community itself where you're gonna find some great restaurants and great food and different fun things to do. Malibu has about 21 miles of beach, and we're gonna start up the heart of Malibu, the Malibu Beach Pier. Now on either side, you're gonna find people surfing in the waves there, but along the pier itself, it expands out quite far. Really, it's lit up at night. It's really beautiful. You can eat there. They've got restaurants. They got a little shopping there, viewing of the sunsets. People are fishing off there, and they hold events along the pier as well. So it kind of all starts from there and expands outward. Now, it doesn't quite have the attractions that a Santa Monica Pier will have or Redondo Beach Pier. It's more of a traditional pier where you don't have those loads of tourists kind of flooding the pier, which is kind of nice, especially for the locals and people that are just from LA and just want to get away from a lot of the tourism, but still have that pier experience. Malibu is a great example of that. Now, some of the beaches here, as I mentioned, they all have kind of something different to offer, and they're all pretty famous for the locals here and people that live in LA, and they know which beach to go to for whatever they want to do. So you have Point Dume Beach, which is, if you want to do some hiking and see some marine life, this is the spot for you to go. Some of the more clean water, pristine waters that you have in Malibu is going to be along Zuma Beach, where people like to picnic, relax. You've got restaurants nearby there. And so that's kind of more of a relaxing type of beach to go to. You also have Leo Carrillo Beach, very popular. I remember doing camps there when I was a kid. People were fishing off the coastline there. Again, just more of a relaxing water, relaxing waves. They also have RV camp spots, so it's a very popular place to kind of camp and pull off the side of the road and spend the night there. And you have surf fishing. You see people right there with their fishing poles just kind of casting into the ocean, catching fish. So you'll find that at that beach. Now, if you're into surfing, which a lot of people are in Malibu, you've got Surfrider Beach, which is basically along the pier. You will see tons of people out there in their wetsuits just surfing. Now, I will say, if you're new to surfing, some of the locals don't take too kindly if you're going to practice surfing right there. That's just because there's a lot of people, seasoned surfers, professional surfers that are there catching their waves, and they don't want you to get in the way. But they do have surf lessons all throughout the different locations in Malibu Beach. So if you want to learn to surf, that's not something where you're coming from or used to, it's by all means definitely available there. I just don't know if I would try it at Surfrider Beach. I did that once and it was kind of shunned upon, but anyway, so if you are a seasoned surfer though, this is where you're gonna go. This is where they filmed a lot of surf movies because the waves and the break here are so incredible. Another beach is called El Matador State Beach. Now this one's really kind of hard to get to, so there's not that many people there. It's a little rugged hike and climb down from the cliffs down into the beach and the ocean area, and you will find some spectacular rock formations there. Don't recommend necessarily going surfing in this area, but it's really cool just to lay out. People do some surf fishing there, climb on some of the rocks, and just when you have the sunset and the sun hitting off the rocks here, it's kind of unmatched. And these rock formation type beaches are really rare for Southern California. You're gonna see that more in Northern California. So that's why this one is pretty special as well. Now, of course, think Malibu Beach, you've got the beach vibe, but it's more than that. Because you're along the coast and you have the Santa Monica Mountains jetting up right along the coastline, the PCH, you have a great hiking scene, which you get incredible coastal mountain views of the ocean. If you get high enough, you can actually get some city views along with ocean views. And it's pretty spectacular. One special spot is the Solstice Canyon. I go there so often. I went there as a kid, kept going as a young adult, and still go there. I absolutely love the hiking trails there. They're pretty easy. It's not for like rugged hiking, but it's for those that just want a nice relaxing hike with the ocean breeze coming through and some really great views. Another great spot is Malibu Creek. Great hiking there. They actually filmed MASH there. You can see some old vehicles, and they have filmed Planet of the Apes there as well. Now you're thinking beach, food. They've got some great seafood in Malibu, high-end dining all the way to kind of your fish and chips place, kind of my favorite spot to go when I'm in Malibu. They got Malibu seafood. They got Country Mart, great places right off PCH. You just pull over. They got benches outside. Of course, the weather is amazing, so you're eating outside, fresh seafood, and people are just enjoying their time right by the ocean, getting these great views. A lot of people stop there and then pick up food and head over to a nice picnic on the beach, something I've done quite a bit as well. And something you may not think of when you think beach life is they actually have Malibu wine, the winery there. Again, great setting, beautiful coastal breezes, great spectacular views, and there's nothing like having a nice glass of wine right along the coast, so highly recommend that. A lot of people like going there. They've got really cool events there all throughout the year as well. So you've got all outdoor adventures from beach life to camping life to hiking life, but it also has some cultural aspects to it too. There's the Getty Villa, which is a museum right off the Pacific Coast Highway. It's an art museum. They've got spectacular works of art there. They've got really cool events. They've got artists doing talks there. And it's just something nice doing during the day. They've got a lot of open space, of course, to take advantage of the weather there right along the coast. So they have that as well. They also have Pepperdine University, which is a private university right off Pacific Coast Highway. That is a big part of the community as well, because they also host a lot of events, and they've got some spectacular educational programs there. Now, as far as shopping goes, there's a couple different shopping districts in Malibu, but they're basically right off Pacific Coast Highway. You'll find your amenities, you'll find your markets there, retail, some of your professional services there are there as well. Again, all of this right along the coastline, Pacific Coast Highway. You also have sections of the beach that have become more private. For a lot of, there's housing there, expensive housing along Malibu. If you want more information about Malibu house prices, just reach out to my team and I will get you more detailed information. It is going to be the most expensive area to live along the coast is Malibu. So this is the vibe you'll get, what to expect when living in Malibu. All right, the second beach community going south is going to be Santa Monica Beach. This one is near and dear to my heart because this is where I spent most of my life growing up, going to the beach. You've seen my other videos. I would spend 4 or 5 days a week at the beach during my summers. And so Santa Monica is a pretty special place. I'm curious, as you guys watch the movie, comment below, let me know which beach you think you're gonna vibe with most. I always like to hear from people thinking about making the move or relocating here to the Los Angeles area. My team and I love helping people move and relocate to LA. So if you are thinking about that, hit us up at the contact information below. All right, we are gonna start off at Santa Monica Pier because like Malibu, it is kind of the heart of Santa Monica Beach. Now the pier here is much different. It has many more attractions. They've got roller coasters, carnival rides, carousels. They've got live performances constantly on the pier. They have a restaurant at the end of it. They've got pier fishing. They also have arcades here. And so this place is jam-packed with locals and tourists. So some days, especially during the summer, during the evening, it could be a little uncomfortably packed, but you'll find those days where it's a little bit more relaxed. It is a special pier, so it's really cool. You can make a whole day of just being at the Santa Monica Pier. And just off the pier in the sand, you've got these famous rings area where people are doing all sorts of cool gymnastics and workouts along these bars and rings. You'll see people there just kind of people watching as people are doing their workouts. Not quite like Venice Muscle Beach, which we'll get to later, but it is definitely an attraction. Now, that's the pier itself, but let's talk about the beach and the water there. So you're gonna get some great waves in Santa Monica. So there is tons of surfing, people bodyboarding, boogie boarding. And the beaches here are really expansive, flat, sandy beaches. Really, there's no rocks or jagged edges or coves. It's all kind of just this one big, large beach. So you'll see tons of people popping up their umbrellas, their tents, just hanging out and relaxing, getting that tan. Lots of beach volleyball courts. They've got Will Rogers State Beach, where they put on tournaments there as well. I've played in a few beach volleyball tournaments there. I've seen Wilt Chamberlain play there when he was around. And so you got a lot of people, famous people playing there, and just locals playing there. Tons and tons of volleyball nets. Now, the waves there on the ocean are fantastic. I don't personally surf too much, but I did a lot of bodyboarding and boogie boarding, and I love being out there. Now, the waves can get pretty big, so you definitely want to be an experienced swimmer. And if it's one of those days you just want to be along the coast and not jump in the water or be on the sand, they've got a bike path there that pretty much hits from Santa Monica all the way down south to Redondo Beach, which will be the last community that we talk about. One big bike path, so people are walking, running, biking, rollerblading, roller skating, all sorts of activities along the bike path. It's really cool to have the ocean breeze, the expansive ocean in the horizon. And if you're doing it during the sunset, you get these spectacular views. Another thing I like to do is actually go during sunrise. I don't get to do this too often, having a family and all, but it is really nice, and it is one of the quietest times that you're going to find at the beach and at the ocean is during the sunrise. And it's just very peaceful, very tranquil. You've got the marine life is out a little bit more. You've got spectacular bird watching at that time. So definitely recommend that as part of the lifestyle there. And if you are liking this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, tap the bell to get notified. And if you want pricing, housing pricing for homes, condos, apartments, make sure you do reach out to my team and I at the contact information below. Now, Malibu, I'd say, is more relaxed than Santa Monica because Santa Monica has more of a tourist attraction to it. So you're gonna have people traveling from all over the country, all over the world here, and it's just more of a busy beach. Now, outside of the beach for entertainment, Santa Monica offers 3rd Street Promenade, which is kind of an outdoor shopping area. It's 3 blocks long, 2 blocks off the ocean, off the beach. So really you can make a day of being at the promenade and the beach. I love doing that, where I'm at the beach all day and then hitting up the promenade for a movie later or great food, great dining there. What's really special about the promenade is they've got tons of retail, tons of restaurants with outdoor dining. But the most special thing to me is all the street performers that they have along the 3rd Street Promenade. You've got people doing magic shows. You've got people doing dance routines. You've got people doing comedy, you've got musicians, you've got artists there. And during the holiday seasons, they've got carolers out there. It's all decked out for the holidays. It's a really special place, a special vibe. And so I love going there for that reason. They also have a couple movie theaters there. They've got a virtual reality center. I love doing that. And it's all connected to an indoor kind of, well, it used to be an indoor mall. Now it's this big outdoor shopping mall at Santa Monica Mall at the end of the promenade. So great retail therapy if that's what you're looking for. Santa Monica also has really high-end shopping and restaurants along Montana Boulevard, which is a little north of the promenade. And that's where you're gonna find a lot of celebrities hang out in that area. It's a little bit more bougie there, not as relaxed as 3rd Street Promenade, but a really cool place to go check out. Santa Monica is also known for its really big farmers market. They close off the streets there, and all the local farmers, they've produced great local produce. They got crafts there. They got street food there. So that is a really big draw for a lot of people living in Santa Monica and in the surrounding areas. The 3rd beach community we're going to be talking about is Venice Beach. Now, this is going to be the most gritty, most unique, most relaxed beach community out of all of the areas that we're going to be talking about on this video. Now, this is also close to my heart because I also spent many days of my life at Venice Beach as well, along the beach and the boardwalk. Now, I mentioned this is one of the most unique beaches you're going to come across, and that is because of the boardwalk itself. And we're going to start there because for me, it's kind of the heart and soul of what the Venice Beach vibe is. There's also another street that we're going to talk about on Abbot Kinney that also has the Venice vibe, but we're going to start with the boardwalk. This is where you're going to find your bodegas, your beach food, your sunglass huts, your surf shops, your smoke shops. When I say smoke shops, I mean cannabis shops. This is where you're gonna find your pipes and your bongs. This is where everyone went before the cannabis movement became legal here in California. People went to Venice Boardwalk to find what they needed. There's also a lot of restaurants along the boardwalk where you can dine outside and people watch. And this is some of the best people watching you're ever gonna do because it attracts some really unique characters, tourists, locals alike. If you wanna see some interesting people, Venice Boardwalk is your spot. And here they also have street performers or just people kind of hanging out. You'll find people there with a parrot on their shoulders, snakes wrapped around their arm. This is where you're gonna find your spray paint artists. You're gonna find people doing drum sessions out here, drum circles right here along the boardwalk, other types of music. You're gonna have people doing magic shows, jewelry making. It's a really interesting vibe along this coast. Now, in more recent years, we do have a little bit more of a homeless element there, so you are gonna see more of that in Venice than in any other beach community, so just be prepared for that. Now, along Venice Beach, you have a big skate park there for skateboarders and rollerbladers alike. That's become a really popular place. You've got people doing dance routines with boom boxes on your shoulder, almost like it was the 1980s, which is really cool. And you have Venice Muscle Beach, very, very famous during the 70s and 80s. You see Arnold Schwarzenegger here plenty of times, but people still use Venice Muscle Beach, and you're gonna find some yoked out people here, shirts off, and their muscles are just blasting. People are like showing off how much they could pump. So you're gonna see that there. It's actually fun to watch. You have basketball courts. This is where you got street basketball. It can get pretty rough here. So if you're not going to be playing rough or you're not used to that type of play, this isn't going to be for you. It's not NBA rules. You're going to get hit hard here when playing, but it's also a lot of fun to watch. You got paddleball courts, pickleball courts, really unique as opposed to what you're going to find in Venice. And I haven't even mentioned the actual waters in the beach here. Just like Santa Monica, you've got expansive beaches, sandy beaches that just go on for miles. And this is where people also surf, relax, get their suntan on, again, bike rides. So as far as the beach and the sand go and the waters, very similar to Santa Monica as far as expectations go. They got some volleyball courts, but volleyball is not I wouldn't say a huge draw for Venice. Now, getting off the actual coast, inland by about maybe a mile, you've got Abbot Kinney, which is a different type of Venice beach vibe. It's a little bit more artsy, a little bit more upscale. And so here you're gonna go for your bars, your clubs, your restaurants, some retail therapy there as well. They've got some art galleries, different types of beach vibe shopping there, and certain great coffee places as well. They've got, most places there are dog friendly. So if you're a dog lover, they let you bring your dog in. A lot of these people have bowls of water for dogs, so it's very pet friendly. There's a lot of art studios here. And I will say Venice has the Venice Art Walk and Garden Tour that they host annually, where there's like 40 or 50 different art studios and homes that open up their places for looking at their art and their private gardens. So really cool show that gets put on in the Venice community, which I find it pretty unique. It's special. I participated in that as well. You also have an area in Venice called the Venice Canals, which is to emulate Venice, Italy. And this is also unique, kind of unlike any other place you're gonna find in the Los Angeles area. And they've got these really cool canals where these houses, rows of houses are. You can actually get to your house by a small rowboat, and these have these bridges so you can drive over these canals that they act as streets and waterways essentially. So definitely check that out. Again, if you are interested in housing in Venice, you can reach out to us. We'll give you a better idea. Venice has different neighborhoods within its own community that have very different price ranges. So depending on what type of lifestyle you want will depend on the price point. All right, fourth beach community is going to be Marina del Rey. Now, this is less of a beach community and more of a boat community, but it still counts for along the coast, and they do have beaches along the marina, including Dockweiler Beach, which is not quite the marina, but close enough. That's where you're going to have bonfires, these little fire pits all along the sand and the beaches where people group and gather, toast marshmallows, just have a little fun there. People drink there too. You're not supposed to, but people do. But it's a great place because the weather is so spectacular here in LA. You're there in the evenings with a bonfire. You feel completely comfortable. You don't have to be wrapped up and bundled up in jackets. You can just have maybe a nice little blanket over you with the fire. So that's really cool. That's all I'm gonna talk about as far as the beach life goes in the marina. The rest of it's gonna be more about the boat life and the community. We're gonna start off with Fisherman's Village. This is where you can connect and get your boat rentals, your kayak rentals, your jet ski rentals, your Sea-Doo rentals. You can hire a crew out to go whale watching. This will take you out to Catalina as well, Catalina Island. So this is where you're gonna find a lot of your ocean rental activities. Also bikes, they rent bikes out there. So this is like a little waterfront area where they have some restaurants, some shopping, and a little lighthouse, a cool little marina there. It's also a place where people house their private boats and their yachts. So if you wanna see what that's all about, or if you know people that have it, that's where you're gonna find where they are being housed. The bike path that runs along the coast also runs through the marina, which is really cool because it takes you out through the jetty so you can see people in their boats kind of getting out of the marina and into the actual deep ocean. So it's fun to watch that. People start off their Sea-Doo adventures there, so you can hop off your bike and do a little sightseeing with all the different types of boats and sailboats and water activity. There's also a little park that runs along the marina that people just like to hang out, have a picnic, grab some food, and just relax, watch the boats go by. Now, marina itself is its own little community. You got all the amenities that you can want living here: grocery stores, movie theaters, retail. They've got a shopping area along Glencoe and Maxella, and that's where you're gonna find most of your retail there. Now, you have a lot of condos and apartments and townhomes along the marina, and if you do have single family homes along the coast, they're really bunched up against each other. So there's really no outdoor space, but your backyard is essentially the beach itself. One of the unique spots along the coast in LA where you don't necessarily have to have a house, an expensive house along the beach to have that water view. You can actually get a condo, super expensive still, not as much as living in Malibu or Manhattan Beach along the coast, but you have these mid-rise towers in the marina that kind of look over the ocean, look over the marina. So it's really cool to have that opportunity and those expansive views from being so high up in one of those mid-rise towers. This now brings us to what we call the South Bay area of Los Angeles, which encompasses 3 beach communities for the most part: Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, and Redondo Beach. And we're gonna start off with our 5th beach community, and that is Manhattan Beach. Now, when you think quintessential surf and volleyball, Manhattan Beach is your place. Malibu is up there as well for sure, but Manhattan Beach has something that Malibu doesn't, and that is the professional AVP beach volleyball tournament. That is a massive event every year. It draws in tons of locals, tons of Los Angelinos, and tons of people from all over the country and the world to come visit this amazing tournament right on the beach of pristine, beautiful, expansive, sandy beaches. Again, similar to Venice and Santa Monica as far as the width and the flatness of the beach and the waves. Now, surfing is a big deal in Manhattan Beach. Lots of people come out here for the waves because it has some of the best break in the Los Angeles coastal communities. Like with the other communities that we talked about, I'm going to start off with the pier, the Manhattan Beach Pier. Now, this pier is basically just something to walk out over the ocean, kind of hang out, enjoy the vibe, enjoy the cool ocean breeze, sunset, do a little fishing off of it. It does have a small aquarium at the end of it, but that's pretty much it. Not many activities to do, no carnivals, no real restaurants to speak of, no anything like that, like some of the other piers we talked about. But nonetheless, it's still a really nice place to take a stroll and enjoy the ocean views. Now, Manhattan Beach is where the Strand starts and runs through South and the South Bay beaches. And this is a strip of beach where right along the bike path, right along the beach, you got rows and rows of homes and townhomes and condos right along the bike path there. So you'll always see people hanging out and vibing, watching the ocean, watching people at the beach, and people just kind of hanging out on their balconies. Really cool place to live, super expensive. Again, for specific pricing, reach out to our team and I will help you with that. This is kind of the famous strip area along the beach where so many people, again, like Santa Monica and like Venice, you're gonna see people on their bikes, taking a jog, taking a walk, rollerblading, and just getting their exercise in with the beautiful coast right alongside them. Now, Manhattan Beach doesn't have quite the attractions like Venice and Santa Monica. It's a little bit closer to Malibu, where when you go to Manhattan Beach, you're basically going for the fun in the sand, the surf, and the water, just hanging out, getting that suntan. That's what the beach is about in Manhattan Beach. Now, if you want shopping, you got to come off the coast a little bit, mainly along Sepulveda Boulevard. That's where you're going to find most of your retail. Now, Manhattan Beach is like its own city. I forgot to mention that Santa Monica is its own city within Los Angeles. So Manhattan Beach has its great amenities. Everything you can ever need and want in a community, in a neighborhood, in a city is right there for you. You don't need to go outside of the city limits or the neighborhood to get what you need. All your supermarkets, your amenities, your professional services, your theaters, your entertainment is right there in the city, mainly along Sepulveda Boulevard, which isn't really too far off the coast anyway. So you can still get some great views there. Of course, you get the cool ocean breeze, and you get the beach vibe. There's also some really cool parks in Manhattan Beach. Another big place for shopping and restaurants is along Rosecrans. So Sepulveda and Rosecrans is going to be your main shopping hubs there in Manhattan Beach. Now, I will say, unlike other beach communities that we had already talked about, like Venice, Marina, and Santa Monica and Malibu, once you get off of the beach, the sand, the strand, it to me has a little bit less of that beach vibe compared to previous communities. When you're in Venice, Santa Monica, Marina, Malibu, the lifestyle is the beach. I mean, it just exudes that. That's what you feel. That's what it's like, to me at least. When you're in the South Bay, especially mainly Manhattan Beach, to me it's a little less so once you're off the sand. It feels a little bit more suburban than it does the beach. Speaking of the suburbs, it does have a few great parks in the Manhattan Beach area that is very popular with the locals. Great expansive park space right there in the beach community. You have Pollywog Park, which has a playground area. They also do concerts at the park there. You have also something that's pretty cool, Sand Dune Park, where you actually can run up sand dune. If anyone can do it, let me know, comment below. It's actually quite the challenge. Not many people can actually beeline it right up there without taking a break. It's pretty steep, it's pretty tough, but that part's unique, a unique park in Manhattan Beach area. Like Santa Monica, it also has a very big farmer's market there. It's really popular in the area. And you do have boutiques and art galleries that are kind of scattered throughout Manhattan Beach, especially kind of along that Sepulveda corridor. So that's Manhattan Beach. So if you're into surf and volleyball, this is definitely the community for you. If you just love that bike ride, just kind of stroll along the sand on the bike path, then this is also the community for you. Moving south, number 6 beach community is going to be Hermosa Beach. Now, of all the beach communities, this is going to be the smallest geographically and population-wise. And it's the only one that doesn't really have a true pier. Like Manhattan Beach, it does have a pier, but there's really not much to do on it except for just kind of walk out and enjoy the cool vibes, the ocean breeze, the sunsets, sunrises, and just hanging out, getting away from the hustle and bustle of the city itself. So it does have that attraction, but not much else out there on the pier. It does have Pier Avenue, and that's the street that runs right into the beach, and that's where you're going to find your restaurants, your bars, your clubs, shopping. I went here when I worked a lot in the Torrance area. My colleagues and I found ourselves along Pier Avenue in Hermosa Beach because it was super close, and it really had actually a pretty cool nightlife, especially when you compare it to the rest of the South Bay. Being close to the water, this to me had one of the better nightlife scenes. So if that's more your idea of having that nightlife lifestyle, being in a beach community and being closer to the water, I would say Hermosa Beach has it. It's a small strip, small street, not miles and miles of this, but it's a couple blocks long and just enough to kind of bar hop, club hop, restaurant hop, and enjoy just eating outside with some great seafood and some great drinks. Hermosa Beach also has the expansive beach like Manhattan Beach, so flat, sandy beaches that lead right into some cool waves in the ocean. Here you're going to find some volleyball courts, but a lot of people just kind of relaxing, laying out, hanging out at the beach, enjoying the bike path. Again, that whole bike path runs basically from Santa Monica all the way through the South Bay area, past Hermosa Beach and into Redondo Beach. Now, Hermosa Beach, again, small community, but it does have Hermosa Fiesta, which they do twice a year, a Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend. The community gets together, they gather around, they got live music, arts and crafts, food, fun little thing to do a couple times a year. Again, because the weather's so amazing, it's just great to be in that. It really brings the neighbors and the community and anyone living in and around the area to this one area, kind of connecting all together. There's also a cool comedy and magic club that I've been to a couple of times. You'll see some locals there, some headliners. It's a really cool spot, not huge, but something neat to do when you're just hanging out at the beach and you want to catch a show. Hermosa Beach has you covered. So if you are looking for a beach community that's more quaint, probably the most casual of all beach communities, then Hermosa Beach would be the spot for you. Now we are at number 7 on the list, and that's Redondo Beach, part of the South Bay community. And again, we will start off with the pier, but this time there is actually something to talk about with this pier, because like Santa Monica, not nearly as large and not nearly as crowded, Redondo Beach has attractions there. They've got carnival games, they've got restaurants, they've got fishing off the pier, they've got rentals for sea-doos and boat rentals there, and in my opinion, they have some of the best funnel cake across all of these beach communities. I love the powdered sugar over the fried dough. It is spectacular, topped with some strawberries. Doesn't get better than that. And it's just fun to do when you eat one of those and walking along the pier. I will say the seagulls are pretty aggressive, so make sure you cover up your food because they have no shame. But Redondo Beach does have a great pier. Parking is super easy too, unlike the other piers that have attractions that we had talked about. Redondo Beach actually has parking really close by, and I've never found it where I couldn't park there, so that's just an added bonus. Because Redondo Beach is connected with the rest of the South Bay beaches, they're very similar as far as the way they look and feel. So again, people are just relaxing, enjoying the bike path, the surf, the sand, a little bit of volleyball. There's a unique portion of the beach called Seaside Lagoon. It's kind of a little kids park. We've got water play there. Very different. You won't find that in any other beach community. So it's very family friendly as far as taking your kids to the beach. The ocean can be quite treacherous. We don't have these calm waters there. So if you're not an experienced swimmer, you definitely don't want to let the kiddos go into the water too deep, even to their knees. Sometimes the tide can pull you in pretty quickly. But in this lagoon area, makes it a little bit safer. You got people watching the kids, so of course you want to keep watch on your own kids, but it's a lagoon, so you don't have to worry about the waves and the tide and all of that. And they just don't have that at the other communities that we talked about. So very family friendly. You see a lot of families bringing their kids there when they don't want to have to worry about them being swept off into the ocean. True story, when I was younger, I was a great swimmer, but I got caught up in the ocean and the fun and they were having a huge sets of waves for a couple of weeks, and I wanted to go out there, my friends wanted to go out there, and we were just having a lot of fun riding them. Again, not surfing, but boogie boarding. I flew off my boogie board, landed, I just got tossed and tumbled. Didn't know which way was up. Wasn't actually sure if I was gonna come back up. The waves were just crashing over me. I had another boogie board that just went right over my head. Thankfully, that board didn't have any fins or it would have slashed me open, but I got roughed up. I actually had to take a break. I didn't get back into the ocean for probably a couple of hours. I just had to sit there, gather myself, because it was pretty scary. So not to deter you from going to the ocean, but just know we do not have calm waters here along the Pacific coast in the LA area. Waves, tide. So that's my public service announcement for this video. Now, getting back into Redondo Beach, there's actually two portions of Redondo Beach. You have this coastal community, and then you actually have a big portion of Redondo Beach that doesn't have really any access to the coast or the beach. So you'll see a big difference in housing prices there. Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach, and Manhattan Beach, although they all have the similar vibe to the South Bay, they have their own feel, and you'll notice that when you go to each one of them. For me, I'm so grateful to have lived for so many years along the coast in the Los Angeles area. Growing up with this, I kind of took it for granted. I didn't think anything of it. Of course, I enjoyed it and loved my time there, but didn't realize how special it was until I got a little bit older. It's really a big draw for why so many people move to the Los Angeles area, is because they want access to our wonderful weather, our beautiful beaches. Now, it is expensive to live right in these coastal communities, but you don't have to live there to enjoy it. I grew up in Mar Vista, which is about 4 or 5 miles off the ocean. Really quick trip into these beach communities. Anywhere in LA along the West LA portion, easy access to the waters and to the beaches and to all of these communities. Now, when you live in other parts of LA, like downtown Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley, and some of the eastern portions of LA, you got to plan it out. It does take a little time to get there, 45 minutes to an hour, and you're there, get to enjoying that beach lifestyle in Los Angeles. So again, if you are thinking about making the move, relocating to LA, and the beach is calling you, make sure you hit up my team and I at the contact information below. Hit the subscribe button to get more videos, and hit the like button if you like what you see. Tap the bell to get notified. I'd love to hear your comments. So comment below of what beach you like the most, which one you think is calling your name, and why you're making the move to LA.